Girls who took notes using 50 different colored pens. Where are you now? Do you still continue to write using all those colors? Unfortunately not allowed in the line of work I chose. So now I use 50 different colored post-it notes. Improvise, adapt and overcome. Certain law school prep guides teach you to take notes on court opinions using different colors. 90% of first-year law students show up with 4 different color highlighters. By the end of the last year, few still use them. In legal practice I have developed color coding for notes of the cases I am working on. I have not yet found a way to put a heart over the I in my filings. There's a PM at my company that does this. No idea how the hell she has the focus and time to take such detailed Technicolor dream notes during meetings, but I've never had a problem with getting any relevant info from her. Sue gotta respect note-taking game like that. We all became bullet journalists. Am I allowed to answer if I'm a guy? Because I ended up becoming the Excel guy in my office. All of my spreadsheets are exquisitely color-coded. My grade 9 science teacher forced us all to do it. He said that by color-coding everything you understood the material better because you had to think about it longer to color-code it and understand what other things it was associated with. Not just zone out and go into transcribing mode. He also made us do end-of-unit study guides. They had to be color-coded. A set amount of drawings, and unit words and definitions. The drawings were doodles based on things in the unit. He would mark them and hand them back before the test, which was great because he knew if he needed to help us with something before we bombed the test. He was also a MMA fighter with cauliflower ears, and not the type of guy you would expect to demand rainbow-colored notes. Edit. There's a lot of people asking for examples, so I'll make one up this afternoon. I'm a medical lab technician. I took notes with 1,000,000 different colored pens in college. Up until 2 years ago. I graduated at age 41. Just bought myself a nice new set of gel pens. Real talk. Multiple colors really helped me categorize and compress complex ideas into things I could remember. It helped a lot in understanding the material and studying for tests. I think they're teachers now, and yes, they still use all those colors. I use different ink and highlighter colors to compensate for terrible ADD. I work in a chemistry lab now. Sometimes I'll still use brightly colored pens to record my results for fun. But I don't ever switch between colors, color code anything anymore. All the different colored ink highlighting helped me remember my notes come exam time. So now that I'm out of college, I don't need to switch between colors. I low-key miss color coding and taking notes sometimes, though. I still color code based on class. Each class has a color. This color includes the folder color, the pen color, the sticky note color that the assignments are written on and placed in my planner on the date they are due. I also teach intro statistics to undergraduates, where I also color code parts of the equations and the values that get inserted to the equation, so the students can see where the numbers come from more easily. Asterisk edited to change kids to students. That was a poor word choice on my part. Apologies. My wife did this when we were in school and she still loves using multicolored pens for everything she can. She even uses her own pretty colors for writing and the labels for things at work. You can always tell work that was done by her from everyone else's. A true ray of sunshine. Edit. I told my wife about all the upvotes on this comment and she is thrilled about all the attention. Edit 2. 1/27, 7 p.m. Thank you so much to both of the kind strangers who awarded this comment. Never thought it would blow up so much. The wife is happy. I will never forget sitting in class and asking the girl sitting next to me for a pen. And she turns back to me with a straight face and says to me, "What color?" Edit. This blew up. Thank you for the award. That marks my first, but hopefully not the last, I am a med student now. Also, I am failing because I no longer have time to use fancy pens and prepare colorful notes for all my classes. I work in an office setting now and do still like to use different colored pens for things, if the situation allows it. I don't know if this will make sense to anyone else, but I love colors. I especially like the idea of colors being associated with ideas, personalities, names or themes. Oh, today is Monday. I think orange is a good Monday color. Pink is Friday. Green is Wednesday. I love how Windows 10 allows me to change the colors of tiles so that my computer seems more like me. I am constantly changing the colors of my Apple Watch face. I dunno. I think I have a problem. ETA. The thoughts and discussions being shared here have been very interesting and eye-opening. Thanks for the silver as well. I do just want to add that I am fairly certain I do not have synesthesia. I know someone that does, and from my very limited knowledge of it, it isn't a voluntary association of colors like mine probably would be. I always automatically like to associate stuff with color or mood, but I don't know that it happens involuntarily. Think of what I do as more of what happens in the video game Persona 5, where each character has a color associated with them intentionally. I love that kind of stuff. I have a few friends that do that. One of them is studying to be a doctor. Moved the colored pens to a tablet to easily switch colors. Another wants to become a sign language translator. Keep forgetting the actual term. I'm a high school English teacher, and there's a big correlation between note-taking skills and success in my classes. Color coding notes definitely helps. A guy classmate of mine did this. One of the smartest in the class. His notes were fantastic. He's an engineer now and has a great family life from what I see on his FB. Cool guy. Jason, if you're reading this, you rock, my dude. I actually do. I'm now a professional scientist and it makes my lab notebook pretty. Plus, frankly, often it's really helpful to have multiple colors. I also like having a bunch of colors for seminar speakers because it somehow keeps me more interested to choose a different color for a different speaker. Honestly though, the core reason is the main reason I enjoy multiple colors is because I often feel the secret to success against procrastination is negotiating with your inner 5-year-old. Okay, you need to write these notes. But if you do, you can choose what color to write them in. You might as well find a little happiness in the world where you can. I had a friend who used to do that. One of the smartest people I knew. She is married now and has a kid and is a stay-at-home mom. Edit. Slow down. If you want a copy, message me. Edit 2. I'm sorry if I don't get to everyone. There's a lot you guys asking. Hope you understand. Have a nice day. I color-coded my notes. I have OCD and it makes everything feel neater and easier to flick through. If you want, I'll give my system as I found it to be very useful. Maybe you will too. Oh, and I am currently unemployed, but due to the recent birth of my son, James, I've been looking into jobs. Or, an alternative way, I use black for titles and subtitles. As for me, the title isn't that important. The dates are written in a subtle color, because the focus should be on the stuff below. I'm not focusing on the title, more on the definitions, keywords, diagrams, instructions, etc. Blue is the most used, as that's usually what I use for simple stuff. Red is used for diagrams, definitions and instructions, and research shows that red helps with more detailed information than blue. Also, red is cool. I highlight keywords in pastel pink because it looks pretty with blue, and highlight in pastel orange because fire and shit. As for the summary, I write it in gray with a black border. It's a lot, but I mainly just focus on aesthetic more than anything. I'm one of those girls currently in college. I don't do it because I'm organized or anything. I just fucking love buying pens, markers, and otherwise I can't pay attention to my notes. It's aesthetically appealing to me, which immensely helps encourage me to actually take notes. They migrated to our fountain pens and use 50 different inks with 100 different pens now. I work in IT, and yes, I still have all those colors and still use them all in my day planner. I paint for a living, so I switched from pens to paint. The gel pens were fun, but impractical. I stick to basic ink colors because it's easier to read things with a strong contrast, but I have Sharpies in every color because doodling is fun. Bold of you to assume that's a girl-only thing. They now work for the FBI as analysts. They are all called Penelope Garcia. This reminds me of a girl in one of my college classes. It would be inaccurate to say she took notes. She took transcripts. She would write down everything in class. Everything the teacher said. Every quote from the book that we read. Even every rabbit trail the class went down. She'd be taking meticulous notes, including asking students for their first and last names so she could attribute the quotes properly. Our midterm exam was a 10-page paper. She spent 30 hours on hers and got a 97%. I spent 2 hours on mine and got a 93%. I was much happier trading that 4% of my grade for 28 hours of my life. I went from being in school to be a grade school art teacher to stay-at-home, homeschooling mom to now finishing up a graduate degree in computer science and have job lined up as a software developer. And yes, I still use all those colors. And now flirting them because colors. And it's the easiest for me to read. I mostly write everything in purple now, but sometimes I use other colors and I like colorful post-it notes. I am working towards being a kindergarten teacher. Sure do. I'm almost 35, in college and still using multicolored pens. I'm an engineer with dyslexia and ADHD. I took notes with tons of colors and still do now. The colors help me stay organized, keep track of numbers and not mix up information. I keep like with like categorically and have a whole notation system. A friend recommended I try it in college and it helped me go from C's to B+ and A's. I'm good at picturing notes and the colors help to guide my brain to the relevant information in my memory picture, if that makes sense. In all one color it just looked like a jumbled mess, either way. Yes, I still use colored pens as a 30-year-old adult engineer person shrugging female sign. I'm a guy, doing a master in engineering. Uses 4 colors of pen. Red, blue, black, green. For all my life. I don't write much anymore but I still use colored pens for my personal notes. The color depends on my mood. When I used to keep a meticulous fitness agenda, everything was color-coded. Ended up in med school, so not doing bad I guess. I do still continue color-coding everything in college as I did in high school and before. My case of synesthesia lets me see words, letters and certain concepts in different colors. By using the same colors to actually write the words or underline them, I solidify the memory links in my brain and it helps me remember things. I also take graphic notes with arrows and double lines or write in groups of small areas, etc., so that I can clearly categorize things I need to remember. If you're a visual learner, this helps a lot. My cousin did this in HS. She is now a very organized and successful nurse. I'm a dramatic artist and I used all the pens just for that. My teachers hated me for giving them rainbows of notes and work, but I always wrote them a little key on the back of the paper, so they grudgingly accepted it. Except one math teacher who liked and looked forward to my stuff. I'm now a dog boarder and my schedules are so colorful only I can decipher them. I still art, but not as much, unfortunately. My girlfriend was one of those girls. Nowadays, she only uses one color to take notes. But she leaves dozens upon dozens of color-coded tags in every book that she reads. Whether it's fiction or non-fiction. Those are all indexed according to an arcane system that the likes of mortal men may not comprehend. Although, if you should unwarily run your thumb along that rainbow of plastic, the resulting sound will resemble that of a dark, eldritch chant. I should pause for a moment here to offer a disclaimer. This woman's personality has always been very, very different from that of the girls who simply wanted their notes to look pretty. While she definitely cares about aesthetics, and has a great eye for them, her color-based note-taking system is actually meant as a method of organization. Put another way, if she had been a horse girl, it would have been because she needed a vehicle that would run on oats. If she'd been a volleyball girl, it would have been because she had figured out a sports-based method of conquering the planet. Anyway, as for where she is now, well, the truth sounds like an exaggeration. She grew up to become one of the most stunningly beautiful women on the planet, coming into her own at around the same time that she was getting her doctorate degree in a hard science. Following that, she decided that she needed more of a challenge. So she became a financial analyst at one of the most successful investment management firms on the planet. She attributes her personal success to how much she reads. And I've already described her reading process. TL. Doctor. My girlfriend takes colorful notes. She's trying to conquer the world. As a guy who has been doing this for almost 7 years of uni now, I can say that it's absolutely worth it. Pleasant-looking and well-organized notes go a long way to make reviewing material 100 times more enjoyable. I knew a guy who would take color-coded notes in class, then immediately after class go through them and then do even more advanced color coding with added references and stuff. He was probably the hardest working and smartest guy I've ever known. And he grew up in a small village in Venezuela and now is a U.S. citizen and officer in the Navy. Made me embarrassed that he is a better speaker in 2 languages than I am in 1. It's my time to shine. I really sucked at taking notes. I failed out of 7th grade. I scraped by in high school. I got into the lowest tier university in the state only because they automatically accepted anyone with an ACT score over 21. Then I flunked out twice. I eventually did graduate with a degree that I never used, but it was with a 2.7 GPA. This is just to demonstrate how awful I was at note-taking. Studying anything involving recording and retaining information of the academic persuasion. Then I decided I was really tired of living below the line of poverty and got a master's in science. This required being at the very least passable at recording and retaining academic information. This is where the copious color-coded pens came in, and the color-coded highlighters, and the color-coded sticky notes, and the color-coded accordion folders. I was finally able to properly record information in a way I could retain, which led to my appointment as research assistant, then contributions to multiple academic publications, and ultimately a dream job at the R&D division of a certain computer company. Colored pens got me out of poverty and gave me the ability to help provide for my family. TL. Doctor, I now work as a researcher at a computer company. I am now paid to study. I still have all my pens.